Maybe there's something people never expected about Pernell Roberts, the man who gave us Adam Cartwright on Bonanza. On screen, he looked like the polished gentleman, calm, confident, effortlessly charming. But behind that smooth exterior was a fire Hollywood wasn't ready for. A man built on conviction, raw honesty, and a backbone that refused to play the fake Hollywood game. He didn't care whose toes he stepped on if it meant standing by the truth. While most stars of the golden era smiled through gritted teeth, Pernell was different. He didn't sugarcoat anything. Popularity meant nothing to him if honesty was on the line. He'd rather lose a role than lose himself, and that boldness made him both feared and respected. At the big industry parties where everyone whispered behind champagne glasses, Pernell said out loud what everyone else only dared think. He made it clear that there were actors he simply couldn't stand, people whose arrogance, hypocrisy, and fake morals clashed with everything he believed in. And today, we're going straight into the 5 names on that list. The feuds, the scandals, and the moments that cracked Hollywood's polished image. Once you hear these stories, you'll never look at some of these so-called legends the same way again. And if you admire Pernell Roberts or love the golden age of classic westerns, make sure you subscribe, because the real stories behind Hollywood's glory days are far juicier than the fairy tales. The industry sold us. Pernell Elvin Roberts Jr. was born on May 18, 1928, in Waycross, Georgia, quiet southern town, still recovering from the Great Depression. He was the only child of Pernell Roberts Sr., a hardworking Dr. Pepper sales manager, and Minnie Myrtle Morgan Roberts, a nurturing mother who fostered his creativity and independence. From childhood, Pernell wasn't like the other boys. While everyone else chased baseballs, he played his horn at church gatherings, soaking in the joy of expression. Still, acting wasn't part of the plan. After high school, he enrolled in Georgia Tech to pursue engineering, but it didn't take long to realize his spirit wasn't built for blueprints and equations. In 1946, he enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps and served 2 years' time that shaped his discipline but never dimmed his love for the arts. He played the tuba and horn in the Marine Corps band, keeping his passion alive even in uniform. After leaving the service, he took a leap of faith and enrolled at the University of Maryland, where the stage finally found him. Student theater awakened something powerful in him, something that felt like destiny. Soon after, he dropped out to chase acting full. It was risky, wild, and unapologetically him. In the early 1950s, he packed his bags and moved to New York City, where dreams either broke you or crowned you. He enrolled in the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, polishing his craft while surviving on odd jobs, waiting tables, carrying props, anything to stay afloat. In 1952, he landed his first role in The Man Who Came to Dinner. It wasn't big, but it was the spark that set everything in motion. Pernell dove deep into theater, performing in Macbeth, The Taming of the Shrew, Romeo and Juliet, and more. His time at the Shakespeare Festival built his reputation as a powerful, serious actor. By the late 1950s, Hollywood came calling. He made his big screen debut in Desire, Under the Elms, holding his own alongside Sophia Loren and Anthony Perkins. He also appeared in The Sheepman and shows like Gunsmoke and The Virginian. But in 1959, everything changed. He became Adam Cartwright, strong, quiet, intelligent, the eldest son, on Bonanza. The show exploded instantly. Overnight, Pernell went from struggling actor to household name. But even as fans adored him, he felt something was wrong. Fame and money couldn't drown the feeling that Adam Cartwright wasn't who he truly was. The writing felt shallow, predictable, and safe, and Pernell wasn't built to keep quiet. He clashed constantly with producers over scripts he felt lacked depth, honesty, and purpose. Where was the meaning? Where were the real stories? To him, the show had turned into a machine selling cereal commercials instead of art. And in 1965, at the height of his fame, he walked away. It shocked Hollywood. Headlines called it career suicide. Fans were devastated. But Pernell didn't care. He would rather rebuild his career from scratch than stay somewhere that didn't match his values. He returned to theater and took small TV roles to survive. It was a long road back, but Pernell was tougher than the industry. And in the late 1970s, he got his second breakthrough, Trapper John, M.D. The show brought back his fame, his respect, and an entirely new fan base. He proved that doing things your own way might cost you in the short term, but in the long run, it makes you unforgettable. Still, throughout his career, he held strong opinions about certain people he worked with. And that's where the stories get heated, starting with Michael Landon. Early on, they were friendly, but as Landon's ambition grew, Pernell saw what he called a dangerous hunger for control. Scripts started changing. Scenes tilted in Landon's favor. Pernell confronted him, accusing him of caring more about spotlight than storytelling. The friendship ended instantly. Later, when Landon became a superstar, Pernell couldn't resist a jab. Still playing cowboy, still playing Saint Vendor, was Dan Blockerhaus Cartwright. Their fallout wasn't fueled by anger, but disappointment. In the early days, they were close. But when Pernell fought the producers over shallow writing and the show's handling of Native American characters, Dan chose silence. To Pernell, that silence was betrayal. He expected his friend to stand with him. When he didn't, something inside Pernell broke. Next came Chuck Connors, the towering star of the Riflemen. Their clash happened backstage at a charity gala. Connors treated staff poorly, barking orders and acting like royalty. Pernell saw everything. When they met face to face, he didn't fake politeness. He told Connors his behavior was embarrassing. Connors snapped back, calling Roberts a bitter quitter. Pernell later called him all hat, no soul. Lorne Greenbin Cartwright was the feud that hurt most. On screen, they were father and son. Off screen, Pernell found their dynamic suffocating. He felt Green supported the network's safe, sanitized storytelling, and discouraged risk. Where the world saw warmth, Pernell saw complacency. When he left the show, he said, "I couldn't spend the rest of my life taking my hat off and saying yes, PA to the public." James Drury, star of The Virginian, was different. Their feud was about values. Pernell was outspoken, against racism, against the Vietnam War, for equality. Drury believed actors should stay silent about politics. Their fiery clash during a televised panel turned into an ideological battlefield. Pernell felt Drury represented Hollywood's biggest flautulence when truth was needed most.